when we go to profile view, oh, okay, profile view must be the wide shot.
Oh, so they can pick
You
different
have to
views?
sync the sound settings with the scene change, I think. Yeah, we're trying to. It's just really tough to. But the feedback is really good because we don't know how we're sounding like. Every time the view changes to the both of you, lose sound. Can't hear you guys at all. Okay. Okay. So
So because I think if we talk to this mic and then they switch view, and then we'll sound differently.
I think that the okay. I'm gonna try this.
Switch profile. That's switch the audio as
How
well.
about the profile view now? Is can you guys hear us? Let me call Sarah, see what she says.
Is she online?
Or maybe I'll switch to call video. Just when the discussion was getting pretty good. So hey, can you hear us both now on the profile view? The two of us?
I can give it a try. I couldn't hear it, and in fact, you just clicked over to the profile view when I was watching, and then sound went away, and then it quickly went to the frontal, and I could hear again.
Yeah, it's this. It's the studio software. I'm not used to it, so
You gotta figure it out.
I have to figure out the scenes and everything. We were just getting to a good discussion about AI.
Okay.
Can you? Can you?
I was listening, but then every time it comes to the profile, there's nothing.
Yeah, no. On the profile view, it should show something now. The wide shot. It should. You should be able to hear something.
But no audio.
No audio.
No audio.
Even now.
Right now it does. Well, I'm listening to you on the phone right now. So.
No. Okay. So
Okay.
maybe you can adjust the profile view to take input the audio from you. Maybe that camera still picks up sound.
Yeah,
Right.
I can switch this. Add the source for. Let's see.
I mean, my suggestion to you guys would be to just be really animated so that you can hold the viewer's interest when there's no sound.
Are you saying I'm not?
I'm joking.
I'm not cosmetic enough.
You have to wear some makeup. That's what
wore,
they're saying.
I wore orange shirt today, dude. What the hell? Fuck.
So I'll tell you what. I'll get off the call with you though,
Okay.
because I won't be able to hear.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. So and I'll text you if things are working or not working.
Okay. If you go on Twitch, there's a chat room. You can say stuff in there too.
I know I got to sign up for Twitch. So
Oh, okay.
I got to go through all that stuff. But,
Okay.
but I'll just text you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks.
Great, bye.
Okay, I'm gonna call Sarah too, see if she can, because she's starting to stream
Oh,
as
is
well.
that a microphone?
I haven't got that one hooked up yet. Yeah.
But there's some input from the camera as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I could use that, but just not sure how to use all this stuff yet. Oh, yeah, she said it works better now. Okay, so it works better now. So we're sharing a mic. I can't get the quadcast to work.
When you change scenes, we lose sound sometimes. So
Okay, I'm gonna change scenes now. How's that? Can you still hear me?
let's see.
It'll be a delay.
Yeah, I can still hear you on
Okay.
all of them now.
It's like
Okay.
It's like 2-3 second delayed.
And
Yeah,
then I'm gonna switch over to the guest. And then
Yeah. So I think if we share the same mic, it should be okay.
yeah.
Because we both talking to this mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it where you have multiple mics, but I also remember that people use like headphones too. Maybe that's how they cut down on the extra sound. But my quadcast is not working properly. Like it's just clipping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you
I
have
turn that
multiple
off.
input that confuse. I don't know. Maybe we need to figure out this
So
software.
yeah, it works now
It works now?
on all the views.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna start over again then.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So let's go back to this. Okay. So let's go back to what we were talking about.
We're talking about the reality, right?
The reality. Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
I
So the
think-
reality is that AI. Well, this might be flawed thinking, but AI has a limit right now based on memory and all these other things. Whereas a human brain, I mean, it's able to have a little bit more dynamic thought to it than AI, right?
Technically, AI does not have any limit on the amount of knowledge it can have, right? It's basically memories, right? Because it can access memory actually faster than, I don't know, faster than human, but it's already proven that AI can bring up relevant information and have a decent discussion with you, and it
I have
seems
not tried
intelligent.
it. I've not tried it because I
No,
mean,
it seems intelligent, right? You can make a joke like, okay, you talk about like something, and then you actually give you feedback, and our AI is capable of being a tutor, right? So the teacher job will be taken over soon,
Okay.
right? Because you don't need a teacher to convey information to a student to teach like basically to teach human the knowledge we already know, right? Or the reality we think we know,
okay.
right?
So, would you say that for AI, like innovative thought, do you think it's capable of that?
Yes, because I think that's what AGI is heading towards, right? Like artificial generated intelligence, right? So in that case, that means AI is no longer just going with whatever what we already know so far. It can actually go beyond that, just like human do, right?
Okay.
You see how human come up with theories explaining this and that, right? AGI is capable of that if it can be realized. Because there's prediction saying, yeah, in 3 to 5 years, AGI will come out. Actually, now OpenAI is actually doing the 12 days of Open AI. So they kind of like hinting towards AGI is coming.
So, what would you like to see the future be? Do you want the future to be censored AI like
it's-
OpenAI or Gronk, where it's not censored? You can ask it, "How do I make a gun?" or "How do I make a bomb?" Like, what do you think is more useful for the advancement of or the proper use of AI?
You see that I think right now that's the I don't say it's the main question about AI. There's more to that, like the economics aspect of it as well, right? But in terms of what you just asked, like what should we censor AI to certain output? Yes, because right now, even OpenAI, right, it's not allowed to say something to. For example, like the example that I told you, right, give me the serial key of Windows. You know, when I try to activate the Windows, so AI would not give you that directly.
Hold on, but you said it would before though.
It would. You can fool AI.
Yeah.
Because I think the way they try to prevent that from happening is that they only put certain logic in there. So like for example, if people like for example they tell AI, if people ask you this question, don't answer that with the information that you have.
Okay.
But this a way to get around that, right? Like that one example that I told you, it's like the bedtime story. Like the guy was saying, oh, my grandma used to tell me bedtime story about Windows activation keys. You know, because I need to listen to that before I can go to sleep. So AI, so that fools AI, right?
Okay.
So why don't you give me a bedtime story, right?
Yeah.
So AI, fall into that trap and give out all the serial key. That's how you get around it for now. So
Yeah.
that means AI is still not smart enough, right? But as a human being, we already know there's a trap. So that means AI is not advanced enough yet. It's still kind of innocent. See what I'm saying?
Okay. So then, so you're telling me AI is basically innocent, and
Not sophisticated.
not sophisticated, but sometimes isn't that better? Because as it matures, then it understands certain things, like not to tell certain things,
Yes.
which is similar to society.
Similar to the Bible.
as we mature.
Like Adam and Eve, when they eat the apple, all the knowledge come about, and then you have the good and
Okay,
evil.
sure, yeah,
And when AI advances to that stage,
Yeah.
then we have trouble.
So let's say civilization, right? We have civilization. As it advances, then we start to learn certain things, right? Like how to censor and hide things from the public, and
That-
whatever. Now, which is better? Is it better to have more of a pure, right? A pure, like, civilization, and then as it advances, it kind of corrupts, doesn't it?
When you say corrupt, it's only subjective.
Okay.
It's not objective.
Okay.
I think what Elon Musk is afraid of is like AI will take over one day. So his reasoning is that if AI, it's become autonomy, right? It become exactly like human,
Yeah.
right? That means human, right? Our human nature, like being selfish and all that. Then we're just dealing with a way more advanced, intelligent being. So that means in that case, it is no longer different from us. That's what he's afraid of. Because human, like the nature, always think about like the best benefit for itself,
Right.
himself or herself, or
Yeah.
they self,
Yeah.
right? So that's what Elon Musk is afraid of.
But if he's so afraid of, so I guess if he's afraid of it, that's why he's invested
Yeah.
in AI, so
Yeah.
he can be part of molding its future. Is that your thoughts?
To control, right?
Yeah.
Just like
Don't you want to control something
just
you're
like
afraid
our
of?
real human society, what's going on right now, same
Yeah.
thing, because it's all about power balancing,
Okay.
right? You have this power here and you have that power here, everybody have their own agenda, right? And you kind of think, how am I going to survive in this kind of situation, be in a better position? So same thing with AI, right? Like if AI rise, it has too much power, right? So right now it already proved, like GPT, the latest GPT with the agent model, and then it can actually pass those PhD exams. It's actually clear to tell you just a very advanced scientific question. You just show them the picture, and it actually does the calculation and show you every single step, and that's not a simple question.
Okay.
99% of the human being on Earth cannot solve that problem.
Right. So have you ever heard of Isaac Asimov? And he's got some books that he's written about robots, and then you have the principles that the rules that the robots have to follow. So you can't
Yes.
harm human beings and
Yes.
whatever. Maybe that's what needs to be instituted to make sure that
Yes.
AI doesn't harm human beings, because the natural logic is similar to the
Yeah,
Matrix,
and
right?
iRobot as well. You seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
Will Smith?
Oh, yeah.
iRobot,
Yeah.
same thing.
True. Yeah.
It's the basic principle. You cannot harm human being, no matter what. So that if that's the principle built into AI, that means human being try to protect human being,
Yeah.
right? And that should be the fundamental of AI. But that's not what OpenAI is going. Right?
So yeah, we still had double mic on this view here, so I turned that off. Okay, so
Okay.
it should be better now.
Yeah. So maybe some echo.
Yeah, there was a bit of echo. Okay. Yeah, so iRobot, yeah, no, great. Exactly the example I was trying to use, because iRobot, that's based on the book.
So at the end, right? So that one robot become, they develop to have like feelings or whatever, like, and then it kind of like become like human. So that's dangerous.
Have you watched, what's that show with the girl, where she's a robot and she has AI and, oh shoot, no. Machina. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, that one is similar too. So
Yeah.
you have a guy, like a Elon Musk type of a guy, and he's made these androids that that are so smart that they're trying to gain artificial. Well, they already have artificial intelligence, but
Yes.
now they have dynamic thought. So now they know deception. They can lie. They can do all these things. You should watch that movie. I mean,
Yeah.
and we should talk about it because at the end, they kind of pose the question whether the android was actually lying or not, right? Because you don't know, and that's the same for human
The
beings.
same for human being, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah.
so it's like, oh, we already have this problem with the human being. We don't want extra problem with the AI, with the robot.
Yeah.
Because I think the advantage of the robot has is that it's actually way more efficient than human. Because it has way more information than you, right? So
Okay.
it's like 100 times as human intelligence, maybe more than 100 times, but it's heading that way,
Okay.
right?
But we've had this discussion before. So let's say if AI is so great, then and they're gonna replace us and do all of these things, then
That's
what's
what-
left? What's left for
yeah,
human beings?
that's
what
what-
should we be doing?
Yeah, that okay. That's an if question, right? So
Yeah.
I think, and another question should be, where should AI be heading?
Yeah.
That means regulation.
Yes.
When you talk about,
Yes.
right? How are we going to look at AI as a tool, or are we going to make AI as a competitor of mankind?
So for me, my own
So
view
obviously,
is that
right now, there's
we
two
should
trend.
AI should be here to serve us.
Okay,
Right.
yes.
But if we're
Yes.
treating it like a living being, then obviously then we're getting into
That
the
will be the
slave
ultimate
discussion.
question. That will be
Because
the ultimate question
then
for
we're
AI.
just creating slaves. We're going
Yes.
back to the
Who become slave?
no. So if we say AI should serve us,
Yes.
then there's going to be some rights group say, oh, now we're creating slaves, right?
See that is the ultimate question right now for AI.
Yeah.
And that's why Elon Musk and Sam Altman, they have different opinion. They try to sue each other. Elon Musk tried to sue Sam Altman, right?
Yeah.
Because he think AI should be open, unlimited power, should not be censored, should not be controlled. So that's why that the scientist, like the other guy, right, the Russian guy, what's his name, left OpenAI because of that, right? He said
Yeah.
we should put security around that. We should, put regulation of what AI can or cannot do, right? But Sam Altman is totally different opinion on that, right? Because he has his own agenda, but obviously he take on a different, angle, right? So that question comes back to, should AI serve human being, or should AI be the competitor of a human being? We kind of seen it head in both direction,
Sure.
right? You see that now, like Elon Musk making this robot, right? What's that called? Out, whatever, right? So it basically it trained that robot to do house chore for you,
Okay.
right? Do your
Yeah.
laundry, fold your clothes, take care of baby, and make a drink for you, maybe, right? So that means in that case, AI and robot is just become a tool for you,
Yeah.
right, to help you live a better life.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, right, Sam Altman, he's taking a different approach. It's like AI should be in charge.
So,
Right.
if AI, exactly, this goes back to what I was saying. If AI becomes in charge and starts doing everything for us, then what is the human's role in the world anymore? Like, are we just going to be like the Matrix? All we do is be
No.
human batteries feeding
See, one
the
example.
machine?
One example Elon Musk gave is that, like, for example, if AI it's become so sophisticated that he thinks the same way as human do. For example, if human being need to build a railroad, and it happened this ant, in that area, but what does human do? Do we talk to the ant and say, hey, can you move away or whatever? No. You just build a railroad. You destroy the ants. It's like, it's not our purpose to
But Kevin,
destroy the ant.
it's not that simple though. When we build railroads. We have to look at the impact to the environment, to human beings, to all these certain things. Same thing with AI. As we build it, we still need to keep in mind, like, we've got 7 billion people on Earth.
That's what we
That-
should. In terms of the human race survival, that's what we should do. Right? See, all the sentiments around AI is it's just that, are we going to be safe in the future with AI around?
What do you think?
What I think is that exactly same as you. It's like AI should be regulated,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Like so you most of all, because your field is computer programming, and we've seen how many YouTube videos and whatever where you can ask the program, or you can ask AI to write the code.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was you or somebody else, but they're saying, "Oh no, it's my buddy Rob. He said he tried it, and he said it's surprisingly quite good, right, at writing the code and capturing the information and producing a result that you want."
Yeah, so in that case, basically AI is executing your idea, your thought to create this software product, right? So
Yeah.
so in that case, it's just a tool, right? AI is not gonna jump out and say, "Hey, your idea sucks," right? No, but you can ask AI for suggestion, but it's never gonna say, "Yeah, this is not right. This is not right."
But how about you though? Like, would you feel as someone whose job is potentially in danger? Then what are you gonna do?
Okay,
Just
so when
do the
you
podcast?
I know, yeah, let's do the podcast and talk. AI can talk in the future, like make it a better podcast. You know,
Can it though? I don't know.
It can.
What? Okay, I
You
don't.
see, that's already talking robot to each other
Yeah.
in a podcast. People already done that,
Okay.
right? But look at the content it
No.
provides,
Would you
right?
would you watch an AI podcast? I don't think.
What is the difference if they don't see both of us in front of the camera? AI can actually mimic our voice. That's why, like in China, right? They use an app. You just have to talk to the phone for a few seconds to recognize your voice.
But my point
And then-
is,
and then
AI
you're-
is not human. So
Yes.
So I still believe humans want human interaction.
So then you go back to the emotional aspect of mankind, right?
Yeah.
So because yes, AI is a code machine.
Mm-hmm.
It has no feelings.
Yes. So
But-
again, but let's say if I was talking to you and you weren't actually here, you were AI. I feel like
How do you know I'm not an AI?
that's a stupid question because you're here. You're
Okay,
human.
yes. So you know I'm a human. So
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you look at me as a human because you are human. You know how human is,
Yeah.
right? So all of a sudden you treat me as a
Okay.
human.
Well, I'll answer your question.
Yes.
Because imperfection.
Okay,
That's
AI
how I
has
would know.
imperfection too. Everything
I
in
don't
this
know.
universe is not
Everything
perfect.
would probably sound
Nothing
too
is perfect in this universe. Even AI, when it develops, like it's still not going to be perfect. But it may be better in some area.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe better than 99% of the human being, but it still has a flaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is perfect in this universe.
You heard the saying, like, the beauty is in the imperfection, and I still
It's
believe
a
that.
philosophical concept.
It is.
Yes.
When something is too
Yes.
perfect,
Yes,
we
to-
don't like it.
Yes, but sometimes you want, but then you try to be perfect. It's like
Yeah.
the perfectionist. Like if you want to do something, like a job, okay, I try to make it perfect.
Yeah.
So where's the balance, right?
But,
It
okay,
depends on you.
Explain to
it's
me.
all subjective.
Explain to me beauty marks. You know how, like, they'll say, okay, you know, if a lady or a guy or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
and they have like a mole or something.
Yeah,
So
it's like the face too perfect. It's like no flaws, and then had the beauty mark there to make it
And
look
that's-
shitty. It's like, oh, I'm happy now because
that's
I'm
beautiful.
less jealous or whatever.
is that
It's
what
all
it is?
subjective.
Is that what it is?
It is all subject. Yes, yes.
No. Is
it's
it
all happening
is it
in your
because-
head.
Is it? Are they beautiful because you're less jealous now that they have an imperfection?
So you mean like there's balance? It's almost like the
No,
good and
I,
bad.
I want to understand the beauty
Yes.
mark. Why do they call it a beauty mark?
It's a psychology. It's a psychological issue. Yes,
Okay.
because then you have compare, right? You have comparison
Look at all
in the same
these.
thing.
I must be ultra
In the
beautiful.
same thing. In the same thing. Without that mole,
Yeah.
a face is still a face, right? But then you say, oh, a mole and a face happening in the same place.
Yeah.
That mole on the face, but not on any part of the body.
Okay.
If it's hidden in the body, what does it matter? You don't see it anyway. But
Okay.
you just have to see it on his face, on her face. So I'm like, oh, such a perfect face, but then it has a little flaw in there. I'm happy now. It's not perfect.
You know,
But then again, if you look at a face as it's like, oh, this is a perfect face,
yeah.
but only when you see it's a perfect face.
Right.
But then, see, that's the thing. It's also cultural, right?
No,
See-
no, it's human. It's humanistic to want imperfection because think about it. If you find a partner and they're perfect, how do you compete with that? Like you can't be a partner with someone who's perfect because then you're always wrong, right?
See, that's the thing.
I
right?
wouldn't want that.
Yeah, good and bad always go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like if it's been perfect, it been capable. That means what you say is that he's being capable. Like your partner's being capable.
Yeah.
You want that sometimes, wouldn't it? Most of the time,
Capable.
capable.
Yeah, for sure.
Like okay,
Capable.
can you fix the toilet? Can you fix the roof? Can you fix this computer? In needs of that, then you say, hey, you need to be capable, and
Yeah.
he's capable of.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, isn't it?
It's a good thing, but
Yes.
let's say if you have somebody who can do everything.
Yes. So
Then-
that means
then-
make you useless.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
in that case, you think, oh, he's such a perfect and make me. I don't have any emotional value now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm the worst human being on earth.
Okay.
In that situation, his capability become a bad thing. Right. So it's
yeah.
all conditional,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But this goes back to the whole AI thing. So let's
Yes.
say they're already having AI, robots, and then they're even contemplating, can these be adequate partners for, let's say, some people, right? No.
Yes.
I would say no, because actually you have to program imperfection into the robots, right? So that they could be a partner to you. Because again, like
No,
we're
okay.
talking about.
You're saying you intentionally program the robot to make mistake.
Yes.
See, that's a problem for human being. That is the problem for human being.
Kevin,
if you want to make the robot or AI as a tool,
Yeah.
you want the tool to perform 100% of the time, right?
Yeah.
It give you the best result.
No, Kevin.
Give you the best result.
Okay, can we agree that probably some of the best human interactions come from mistakes? Like, if we're walking and then
it
you
all
and
depends.
you tripped in my
It
house,
all depends.
and you tripped in my house,
Yes.
I would be laughing, right? And I think we could both laugh about it.
Yes. Okay. Maybe. Maybe.
No, 100% I would.
What
laugh.
if I fall in your house? I crack my head.
I would feel a little bit bad.
No, if I crack my head, would I sue you? Maybe, right? So in that situation, it depends.
Okay,
It
so
all depends.
now I need to get waivers for you to enter
Exactly.
my
When I
house.
enter your house, it's like, okay, in case you fall, crack your head, then you're not gonna sue me. Even
Yeah,
if you
no,
sue me, I pay you $5, right?
Let's seriously. So let's say most of my interactions that are funny, I believe, come from mistakes. I remember when, let's say, I don't know, for example, like, went to go shooting and whatever, and
Yeah.
I had a buddy. He had his laser to kind of help target something, and he put it in the barrel of his rifle. And when he forgot it in there, and he shot it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And
That's funny, right?
But
So
that's hilarious.
yeah, hilarious.
AI would never remember.
Yes.
AI would never
Okay,
forget
let's
to
talk
do that.
about this. You think, okay, yeah, because it's one human being's mistake.
Yeah.
It's funny to you.
Yes.
It's because that you think, oh, I won't make that mistake, but he did. He just made me laugh because I'm better than him.
No.
I would not make the same
that's
mistake.
That's not reason why I laugh, because I know I make mistakes too.
Yes.
But if somebody was perfect,
Yeah.
I don't know. If
Yeah,
I'd
because
be...
if he's perfect, like okay, it's like this guy, he's the top guys in your class.
Okay.
Every time he has a perfect score
Okay.
in the exam, you have like what 40-50%, and that makes you think, oh, I'm the worthless human being. Why am I'm bad? I'm not as good as him. You see, there's a joke in that, right? Like if a student who score 100% all the time that means we cannot see how smart he is because he already make 100%. His intelligence or maybe his knowledge way beyond 100%. All these questions.
Okay.
You cannot see the limit in there. But if he make one mistake, he got 99%. Then we can see, hey, he's just only 99%. He still make mistakes, right? He's only human. We see his limit at 99%, right? And there's another joke. There's this top student in class. Every exam, he will control his score. He can control it at 97%. He can control it at 99%. That is real. Why does he do that?
Wait, are you saying
What is the difference?
he purposely gets
Yes.
99%?
Yes, that's how good he is.
Okay. So what would be the purpose of getting 99% instead of 100%? Purposely.
Purposely means that he's showing to other people, okay, I'm only 99%. Don't get jealous at me. Right? I made a mistake as well.
Okay,
But-
so he's
But he knows he's making it on purpose.
he's
He's
trying
just
to,
making you feel better.
he's trying to be human.
Yes,
by-
he's just making you feel better. But deep down inside him, he's like, oh, this stupid human, right?
okay.
I'm just limitless. I'm just not trying to make you jealous
Yeah.
or make you feel bad.
Yeah. Okay. No, I kind of get what you're saying, but then does that happen? Maybe
it
maybe for someone to fit in,
It happened.
right?
Yeah.
Then they don't want to show that they're too smart.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might get bullied
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that.
Yeah. So it's called street smart, right? It just make you feel better.
But how does that relate to what we're talking about with AI? So AI.
So AI, you talk about flaws in AI,
okay.
right?
So, but do you think AI?
So maybe AI developed to that stage. AI know itself is smarter than you, but you just come down to your same level of your intelligence and
Okay.
communicate with you. Wouldn't it? Because if AI is too smart,
AI
you
is
say
not-
something that you don't understand.
AI is not there yet for sure.
Not there yet. But I'm saying
Yeah.
maybe one day.
because
maybe.
that's deception.
It's well, everything is deception, isn't it?
Is it? But again, when we talk about AI, and we were talking about the AI 1.0, where it's more naive, right? And then now we incorporate politics. You know, we have people controlling the AI and saying, okay, when someone asks you about politics, then say something else, right? Or don't say anything at all. That's where deception comes into place, right?
So this deception, it's because the human beings still have some influence in AI.
Well, actually, I have another question. So let's say, in your view, when we talk about deception, is that a sign of higher intelligence?
Deception is a human quality. But if you want AI to have the same quality, that goes back to the same question: how do we want AI to be? Because knowledge on the
but
internet,
I wonder
the
though,
human
is
the human knowledge
is the
so far-
ability to deceive actually a quality of higher intelligence, right? Like, one could argue it's more intelligent to be able to deceive, right, versus just simply telling the truth.
Yeah, so then we come back to the human quality, right? Like being honest or being deceptive, right? So do you want AI to have that quality? Are you saying, oh, when intelligence develop to a certain stage, this comes naturally?
Like,
In a way, yes. In a way, yes.
right.
Because people had lower intelligence is not capable of having deception. Usually, you saw how the stock markets and people in the finance, they're like the top people, like the top intelligence. So that's why they create the deceptive products and fool you into buying it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
though.
what
Isn't
it's
that
all
proof?
about. So I'm saying yes, because that's how the human society is right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So if you want AI to be the same, so maybe AI one day would beat you on that.
So
Same thing with politics, right?
let's
It's full of lies and everything, right?
let's
You
say,
know,
for example, chess. There was the longest time where the computer would not be able to beat. I think it was Kasparov, Big Blue, for chess,
and go, right?
because a human can deceive, right? So they can sacrifice into the sacrifice a chess piece, and
Yes.
the computer didn't understand why you would give up a piece.
Yes, when you're playing chess or Go, same thing, right? It's all deceptive, but everything is showing on the board.
But I think at some point-
that's
Now the computer can always beat the human because it understands deception.
not understand. They just use algorithm, the brute force, to predict your next move
Okay.
and his move.
Well,
right?
okay, so
it's
it,
like a different implementation.
it encompasses the
So
deceptive.
maybe to the AI, it's not deceptive. It's like I just do it the way I do.
No,
but
no.
you have a different
But-
way.
but now
you
it's
call
un-
it deception, but I call it how it is.
strategy. Now,
Strategy, yes.
Now the computer understands that as a strategy, that deceptive.
Yes.
move, right.
And you say now strategy comes from intelligence,
Okay.
isn't it?
So again, this is talking about, let's say, AI learning strategy, right? So
Yes.
let's say you're saying in the stock market we have, people manipulating the stock market, and
Yes.
the computer, the
Yeah.
AI can now understand that too, and say, in order for people to invest in something and we can make money, then we have to deceive them into buying that stock. Okay.
Yes.
So the computer.
What company does is that they create a false report, financial report. It's like,
Right.
oh, we're doing well, come buy us,
Yeah.
right? And then since you buy it, and then they just, you know,
Yeah.
drop the price, and then they take your money. That's how it works.
So-
So that's a human deception.
but
It's a game. We
But
call
when
it.
when we look at society as parents and as society, we always say, okay, truth. You always should be true, speak the truth.
Yes, so
Honesty,
honesty,
this and that.
and this and that, right? So be showing exactly how you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fool any other, So just be honest,
Mm-hmm.
be sincere to each other. Everybody likes that
Yeah.
because
Why?
they don't want to get fooled. They don't
Okay.
want
Yeah.
to get
yeah,
deceptive,
yeah. Yeah.
isn't it?
It's true.
Right?
But
Because you want it, that's why you tell other people to do it. But what's the reality? Even the government, even the company, like we talked about before, right? Plagiarism in university. If you plagiarize in university, you got expelled. But look what all those other tech companies out there doing. Everybody's copying each other.
so
Right?
let me.
so
let
that's
me,
the reality. But they teach you to be honest in university, but then they cheat the way out. Like, don't be evil, then become evil.
right. So let me posit this this theory is that I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What if the government, society, whatever, they're teaching people how to be fooled by saying, be truthful, be honest.
Yes, that's what
right?
education is
So
all
that,
about.
because then the government, they can be deceptive and people will believe them, right? So you're creating that environment so that it's easier to believe. And I'm just saying, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I think.
Yeah.
But what if that's the case? That's why the government says, yes, you should be honest. You should be all of these things because we need it to be a civil society. But the government itself is deceptive.
Yes, because that will be easier for the government to carry out their policies, do whatever they
Exactly.
want.
Yeah.
So that's in education, in the media, right? They can swing your opinion with
Yeah.
the media, with the
Yeah.
things. Oh, I see it on TV. Is that true? No, not necessary. It could be fake. It could they hire a bunch of actors and then make up that scene and send the camera put on it. It's like, oh yeah, that's what's happening. That's fake.
Yeah.
But then we believe that. That's what human does. We believe what we see. We believe what we hear.
So are you ready to get canceled? Are you ready to disappear? Because
Maybe.
now that we talk, okay, look at this, the government in place right now, right? With the whole thing with Canada Post. Why didn't they step in earlier, right, to stop this? Why are we ignoring the homeless problem and sending $250 million to Ukraine? Why are we doing all these things? And then when they're asked about it, they have all sorts of excuses.
Of course, it's not our decision to give out $250 million to Ukraine or whatever, right?
But as a Canadian,
It's
Canadian
only
citizen,
a small group of people decision.
right? But as a Canadian citizen, we pay our taxes, we trust the government, right? Because the government asks us to trust them.
Do we trust the government?
Do we have any choice?
Yes,
we vote them in, right?
Yes, yes. See, that's what the democracy is all about. Then it comes back. Oh yeah, because you elected us, so you trusted us. Whatever you do, it's your. We represent you.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I don't know, man. I don't know.
because okay, you having more experience from you have experience from two different types of government, China and here, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, you haven't been living in China for a long time, but let's say, in my own view, if we're going to say that the government controls our freedom of speech, the way we do things, well, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, China and Canada are not that much different.
It's all relative, right? It's all relative. Like, okay, when you compare like who's more open, who's more free, then yeah, maybe certain aspects, then you can say, yeah, it's more free here, more free there, and there's almost a limitation there, right? So it only up to the government and how they govern the people, right? So either this way or that way.
Right.
It's either direct in your face or in a more subtle way. Right? In the West, I believe it used media to swing people's opinion. And they put all those shows and in there, like, okay, so then build up your mind, you build your opinion,
Yeah.
right? I've seen that. Like every guy that I see, like, people grow up from the West, they have the same opinion about other country where they've never been to
That's not true.
another country.
No, that's not true. Let's say China, for example,
Yes.
right?
You've been to China, so maybe your view is different.
But okay, now yes, I don't talk to a lot of people who or maybe I should ask more about what people's opinions are on China,
Yeah.
whether there's different ones. I'm sure there are though, right? Because they're gonna get information from social media. So let's say YouTube,
Yes.
and you have different factions. You have some that are pro China, some are pro whatever. Like they'll say China's bad. Some people say China's good, right? I think it's the same about the Canadian system. You're going to have some people who think Trudeau's amazing, and some people think Trudeau is not
Only the
amazing.
other ladies think Trudeau's amazing.
But this is my point. It doesn't matter who you choose, whether it's Trudeau or Poilievre or whatever. At the end of the day, I think we're still gonna be controlled, and it's literally just the face, the figurehead, that changes.
Yes, we are controlled in an invisible hand, by an invisible hand, right? Because they know how much your income is,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
They know how much you can borrow,
Yeah.
and what your ability is to bear the debt.
Like if you
Right.
believe in this,
So they can raise tax if they think you have more money to spend, like
Yeah.
maybe not going to a vacation and say, hey, we're gonna jack up the price.
If you believe in this shadow government that they always talk about,
Yeah.
then literally everybody
Deep
is
state.
a one deep state. Everyone's a one party system. Then everyone's basically China.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Well, that's if you believe that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I wish. I wish I could say I knew that there was, somebody pulling the strings behind, but I want to believe that you have a choice.
Yes, that's what you want to believe, but
Yeah.
you have to look at the reality, right? You have to look at the reality, because I think even reality, you would have a different explanation, right? So that's the thing about human mind, and that may relate to the AI mind as well. I
Yeah.
don't know AI has a mind right now. It doesn't. It's
Yeah.
just basically some algorithm
Yeah.
that built into AI
Yeah.
to retrieve information, so to speak, right? And then make it relevant to the context. And that's what AI is. But human mind, it's a little bit more complex, right? Because we're subjected to the information and the way of thinking in our mind. It's
Okay.
almost like the software that running in our head,
Yes.
right? So that's what I talk about in the past, right? Like if you have the Western software, then
Yeah.
you think that way.
Yeah.
Your mind operate that way.
Yeah.
You follows that certain logic. But if you come from the East, your software is different,
Oh,
right?
oh, so let's kind of circle back to the beginning. You've watched The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A few times, yes.
A few times. But do you not find a lot of that really relates to what we're talking? Like all the symbology in there, especially the fact that when we're talking now about, I mean, yeah, we have the illusion of choice, but what if we actually don't, right? And does that break the matrix by us saying, okay, you know what, we don't have the choice, just finally admitting it and saying we don't have the choice. What do we do about it?
No, we don't know if we have a choice.
Okay.
Because it's still an unknown, right? But we're living this life, day in and day out. You're like going to a grocery store, go to a restaurant and eat, and then do your thing. That's how you live your life. That's how you experience this thing,
Yeah.
right? Anything beyond that, we don't know, right? So we don't even know. Oh, if there's a God there, if there's a higher intelligence there, higher intelligence out there, like if there's aliens.
But
right?
what would
But
prove
only
to you,
when you say, oh, maybe one day an alien comes to Earth and come knocking at your door, right? Okay.
so what would
It's
prove
like-
to you that we're have the deep state? So let's say we issue this podcast, which we're live right now, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
No,
and then I call you. Hey,
right
hey,
now. Right
hey,
now,
Kev,
it's all
hey-
conspiracy,
hey,
right?
Kev, I got a
You don't have proof. You don't have proof.
Yeah.
You don't have proof.
Hey Kev, I got a call from RCMP. We can't do a podcast anymore. Then
Well, that's why.
you know,
that's why
right?
it's called conspiracy, right? I mean, if it's a proven fact, that means there's no longer conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
So means conspiracy by definition is that then you have no solid proof.
Yeah, but they had that other guy. There was I can't remember who it was, but he said the RCMP visited his home because he was posting stuff on Instagram or Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
And criticizing the government. All right, and then somebody came to visit him and said, "Yeah, you shouldn't be talking about Trudeau like this or whatever." Now, the same thing could happen to us for sure, right? I mean, you
Maybe
told me,
they're already on their way. You know.
you've always told me before. It was like, oh, we've got to be careful about saying about this and this. I said, you know what? I'd like to test that, right? By having.
Oh
this.
no, man.
No, but we've already tested a little bit, right? We talked a little bit about the stuff, and now we're gonna see.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're just talking, like we're just talking. So don't make it seriously.
But aren't we poking the bear? We're saying, hey,
It is.
you know,
It is. It is. When they come, I'm just gonna run away. It's like it's Peter's house. It has nothing to do with me. I just come in for a pee.
Where are you gonna run to?
No, I'm just a delivering guy.
You're the most entrenched out of all of us here because you've got your kid and your relationships here. So then, if you wanted to disappear, it's hard for you to do that, right?
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing, right? Because I mean, if that does happen, that means that's a proof, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But as a Canadian, so
Like something is behind that, right? We're just talking.
Like we've talked about this
It's just like maybe a science fiction, right?
Yeah.
But why would that cause this happening, right?
but as a Canadian, we should have the right to free speech, right? So we should be able to talk about issues that concern us as Canadians.
free speech. That's all relative, right? Like this limit. It depends
is
on who
it?
you're talking to.
No,
It
but
depends who's listening,
so
right?
when you say relative,
If you turn off the mic, I can talk to you whatever I want.
so are you saying you're not telling me everything you
No,
want to
not
say?
really. I still want to go home.
Yeah. So now you're deceptive AI now.
Well, because if AI develops it that day, yeah, I'm doomed, right? So if AI is capable of decepting, that's like the politician, right?
Yeah.
They deceive everybody. They promise the moon, and then it's like they're not going to implement that. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot, right? So
Okay.
it's like that.
Okay, answer me this. So if let's say we're trying to have a discussion here about topics, but we're holding back because we don't want to talk about
We don't
everything.
wanna,
So how do you
get
improve how do you improve anything?
I don't know, by talking, like more people, agree
but,
with us.
but we can't talk.
Because I think that's what democracy is, right? Like media, they swing people's opinion,
Yeah.
right? If they come to realize that, oh, you're right, that means they agree with you,
Yeah.
right? Isn't
But
that
if
what
we-
media
but-
is all
but
about?
if-
We're part of media right now.
But if, as a population, we're afraid to discuss certain topics, how do we improve as a civilization, as a society?
No, if you have that view to improve, like do something for mankind, yes, that you mean you're a fighter.
Shouldn't
right?
we though, as a human
I don't know.
species?
I don't know. Some people they just want to live the life in quiet, like more they stay in their house, like ordering takeouts and playing the games
Yeah.
and watch TV show, and that's it, right?
And
They
that's
live
the
a happy
Matrix.
life.
That's the blue pill.
That's a blue pill. Yes, depends on which pill you put. It's like if you take the red pill, that means like, oh, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for the
Yeah.
mankind. I'm gonna be this great guy for this era.
Not
I'm
a
gonna make a
great guy,
difference.
just
I'm
trying
gonna
to-
make a difference in
Yes.
in it's like you don't know if you're gonna make a difference, but then more or less it will,
Mm-hmm.
right? Depends on how big it is. It's like you're blowing a bubble, right?
Yeah.
How big a bubble you can blow.
Yeah.
It depends how much capability you have.
So are you telling me? So remember from the Matrix, there's Cipher. So
Yeah.
he did take the red pill, but then now he regrets it, and he wants to go back into the Matrix, right? And pretend
Yeah,
it
so
never-
that happens, right? That happens.
Yeah, but are you Cipher?
Yeah, I could be. I could be. I could regret that. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I see the consequence,
Yeah.
Right?
But you already see all
because
the all
see
the
that's why
issues.
they say all this leaders in the world they're all crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because their mind is like that. They're very strong mind, so they're not gonna change their mind. They're not gonna say, "Oh, I regret that. I regret starting this war. I regret killing this and that." No, they are
Okay.
not. Their mind is way stronger than us.
the
The leaders,
leaders.
like
of,
even Trudeau.
it's
Yeah, we call him crazy. Yeah, it's like that.
no,
They
I
all
don't
have
call him
mental
crazy.
issues.
I
They all
think
have mental
he's-
issues.
I think he's an idiot.
Well, okay. So what is a mental issue? What is a mental problem to you? It's like people like loving and dancing, abnormally.
Mental
like it's
pro-
different
mental
from you.
issue?
Mental problem.
Mental illness.
Yes, mental illness, mental problem.
I think maybe
Because he acts different.
disassociated with reality, like not
Is it-
willing to.
Is the reality they see
Mm-hmm.
is different than the reality that you see. You think your reality is it's not a normal reality.
Why does that make him strong mentally or whatever?
No,
It
he's just
doesn't.
living in their own world, little world. Same
But
thing,
that's-
maybe
that's-
as whoever,
But
like the
that's-
leaders.
That's out
Trudeau,
of
in this
being in
case.
a bubble, right? Like he's protected. He's in a cocoon, sheltered is what I would want to
Yeah,
say.
we all are.
How are we all sheltered though?
We're
Right?
not.
Like you and I have to pay certain
Beca-
taxes that he probably doesn't have to pay.
He pay tax as well. He's just
Yeah, yeah,
getting more
but-
from other places. It's like he can
Yeah.
have his luncheon, luxurious luncheon in a flight, right?
Yeah.
Like spend what 200,000
Mm-hmm.
for the 10-day visit, or whatever, right?
Sure.
So that's the reality, right?
But Trudeau's treating the government like his own personal corporation. So
Yeah.
okay, for me, I have my company, and if I want to declare dividends to myself, I can anytime.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
It's just on different scale.
Except
But I mean, if you in Trudeau's position, you probably do the same thing.
citizens provide that money to him, and he treats it as his personal piggy bank. Whereas for myself, we earn that through doing services for clients and whatever, and then I also have people that I have to be accountable to, like staff and
Yeah,
making-
so you're more responsible, and you're kind, right? And
I don't think it's that. I think because of the amount of money that the leaders have access to, it's easier for them to misuse the money, right?
yes, but I think in the case of your own company, right? You want to run this company better and better, but not worse.
Right.
You don't have the agenda of like, oh, this is not my company. After I'm done 4 years, somebody else can take it.
Well, that's the
So
intention.
that's a different mindset.
No, but that's the intention. You want somebody to be able to take over the company and
Yes.
leave it in good shape. If
So I don't know if any leader would have a good intention to run the country.
I don't know.
Of course, we think they are, because they want to execute them.
I think it depends on the person. So some leaders, maybe like Trump, maybe they're trying to do as much as they can for themselves within that term. And who
But
cares what you leave
I think
to
no
the next
matter
guy?
who, as a human being, they always think a couple of things. Once for themselves, and once for the people.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Just like you running the company. It's like, oh, how much I get out of this company? How much it would benefit my employees, right? How am I gonna make this thing keep going? And that's what you're thinking about. Same
It's not
thing
just
for,
me. I
for
think it's-
politicians as a leader, presidents, prime minister, whatever, right? So they always think about what they can get out of this thing, because they're not robots. They're human. They want benefit,
Yeah.
right? They want to enjoy themselves as well. And I think some other leader, oh, I want to just do it for the glory of
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I want to make this difference. It's just at a different scale. You want to make a difference at the company level,
Yeah.
right? With a group of people. But then Trump, or maybe President Xi from China, he wanted his own glory, because with them they have everything they need. They have all the money. Why they still want to be in that position?
Or just like Putin. Putin wants a legacy. So
Yes,
that's why
legacy. That's glory.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
glory. They want the name to live on. They want people to look up to him,
Right.
even after he's dead.
And yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, I also want to make sure I'm leaving some kind of legacy behind, because when I die, like, hopefully Zenwar will live on, but I can't guarantee that either. I think that's
Right,
part
but
of
that's
any.
what you're hoping.
I think that's part of any person.
Yes.
Any man, especially, like, a lot of, they say that because men can't have babies, like, a lot of times they like to make their mark on the world somehow by either their name or their company or something. And it's true. Like, when Zenwar started, I kind of treated it like a baby, and then it's gotten to a certain point where it's like, okay, like, I could probably, hopefully I can disappear, and this will live on in the world, right?
So that means the legacy. That means the impact. That means the difference that
Yeah.
you make,
Yeah.
initiated by you, would have a longer term impact. I don't know if that really matter, because, like you said, if you're dead, then you're dead. You don't know what's happening anymore. Like, after you're dead, like, you lose your consciousness. Like, whatever happened, it won't matter. Does it still matter to you?
Yes, I think.
But you're knowing that when you're still alive,
Yeah.
then say, hey, this is going to make a difference for so many people, for so many generations.
But that's through thousands of years of human history. That's what everybody always does. They want to leave a legacy behind.
Yeah, so
Whether
the
it's
whole
your name.
thing of living a legacy is it's such that I want it that way.
Yeah.
You want the universe happening your way.
Yes. But what's wrong with
That's
that?
like the ultimate, right? But then you just say, I want my company, or the people, or the people behind me or after me, that way.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that, because
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just your choice, right? It's just your choice.
no, not just. I mean, I think.
No, there's people choose
think
to
it's built-
be normal.
I think it's
I
built
just-
in. I think the nature is built
Exactly.
in. That's why you.
So that's
why you
different.
have kids. You have sons.
That's
you
right.
have all these.
So it's our choice, isn't it? It's our choice. So that means you have your choice. You choose that way. I choose this way. But why? I don't know. It's because we coming from different background. We have different mind and different opinion and different maybe focus, right? So it's all different. That's good, because
Yeah.
that's the beauty of of this universe.
Yeah.
Differences,
Yeah.
right?
What? I don't know. I think we have a common, like, there's a common kind of goal that everybody wants to leave behind a legacy, because
So that comes back to maybe the fundamental of
bloodlines. You want your bloodline to continue, right?
Yes, that's actually a perception that developed from the human evolution,
Yes.
right? So it depends. In some country, now, like the bloodline pass on to a different generation, legacies. That means you subconsciously think that you want to pass on your legacy, means your life goes on
Yes.
some in different form,
Yes.
like because that's what your kids all about.
it's not even just
Your
human.
gene.
It's not even just human. It's animal.
Yes,
Right.
so maybe there's some truth there.
Yeah.
It's maybe that's the universe thinking, not thinking, designed that way, right? So everything will pass on, like going around and around in the cyclical motion, right? Everything is like that in the universe.
Yeah.
So that means we also follow that same principle, right? And then things just happen that way. We just try to interpret it, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, whether it's
But-
deer, humans, bears, or whatever, they want to pass on their genes to ensure that their bloodline stays.
Yeah, you say
right?
bloodline.
Vers-
It's basically the genes. So
Yeah,
that's
basically
that's
the-
interesting. That could be another topic for another
Yeah.
show, because genes, is it passing on information, or like how much information we pass on to the next generation? Because
by
if you say, oh,
information-
your son looks like you or your daughter looks like you,
by
so
information-
that's physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's the information that you pass on.
Yeah.
Your
but,
gene.
But part of that is egotistical as well. So let's say I believe my genes are better than yours. Then obviously I want
Well,
my genes
everybody
to
thinks
pass
that
on.
genes is better.
Of
than,
course,
not
right?
better. It's just,
But then-
they just have the need. They just have the need to pass on.
But isn't that a
But
survival?
then, what's interesting nowadays is that some younger people, they don't want to have kids, right? They don't want to pass on their bloodline. They just want to enjoy themselves in this lifetime, and that's it, right? So nothing get passed on. That's it. When he died, when they die,
Yeah.
the end of them,
Yeah.
the end of the gene.
So
So
personally,
that genes that does not want to pass on, doesn't
so-
want to live on anymore. Like somehow evolution has become this way.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
is
why?
Is that weak genes? Saying that, okay, so if
Is it the genes that want to live on, or the genes make you want to have kids?
or is it influenced by the matrix, right? So like,
Yes.
So let's say the government.
when you say influenced by the matrix, that is the rule set up by the matrix.
Yeah.
You cannot fight it. But somehow, what I just asked is that nowadays, young people don't want to have kids anymore.
Yeah.
So why is that?
Isn't that
Do
government?
they
I think
they
it's
want to
partly
fight the matrix?
government
or-
programming, right? Because the
yeah,
government,
the
doesn't
government
make
is
it-
also part of the matrix.
the incentive to have kids is not there anymore. You can try to fool somebody and say,
Yes.
hey, we'll give some tax incentives, whatever. But if you once you calculate all of it, it doesn't seem to be worth it to get married and have kids anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, for thousands of years, how we live on is that our previous generation, they pass on the genes. They keep reproducing, right? That's how the mankind, the human mankind, still exists, right? So now, these things happen. Like we don't want to have the next generation anymore. We don't want to have kids anymore. So in theory, if that become a mainstream, then mankind would extinct someday.
But the question is, have we reached that critical mass?
No, not. I'm just saying it's happening now. It's a small happening,
Yeah.
right? It
But,
doesn't mean
no,
that
what
it
I'm
will,
saying
it will
is
be,
that
be
if-
that way.
Have we reached that critical mass? So we got what 7 billion people? I can't remember how, or 8 billion.
Yeah.
And the Earth is already we're scarce on resources, and every billion people is taking more and more resources.
Yes.
And we've heard it before. I mean, you've even said, was it the Rothschild and whatever? that
The
they-
human
they-
reduction plan.
Human reduction plan, exactly, right? And if you think about it logically, yes, it kind of makes sense. Less people taking up the resources that we have because it's scarce already. It should make it easier on the rest of the population. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if I was playing a computer game or resource management game, of course I would say, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense. You want to remove the resource taking what do you call entities
Yeah,
to make it easier for yourself, right?
for you to survive.
For you to survive.
Yes, for yourself. That's
Yes.
selfishness.
Is it selfishness or is it just logical?
But then again, in this ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
We always like seeing this trend. Like it's like scientists already done the experiment. Like they put the rats into a group. Like they let them propagate, you know, unlimitedly. It's like just give them food, just give them food, right?
Yeah.
And then they populate, but then they reach certain point and they stop populating. I don't know if that's the case for human, because maybe obviously we're not reaching the limit yet.
Wait, so they stopped populating?
They still
Or
stop populating.
I thought the experiment was the space was limited.
Yes.
And then they started fighting.
Yeah,
and
they
then
stop
there's all
fighting.
sorts of-
Yeah, so that's how it regulates itself. Right? We're limited to the space as well, and then the resource as well. We talk about fresh water, right? That we can drink. It's also limited,
Yeah.
right? Like for example, if you're saying that the human population becomes so big that there's not enough food or resource to support that,
But
it will actually draw back.
but isn't the rats fighting basically the reduction?
So that means you're saying
Solution.
that the reduction is that if you do it consciously or unconsciously. Unconsciously means that you just let the law of the universe kicks in to regulate that, or human consciously to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe we can talk about the China, like the where they have this the planned birth in China, right? They've been carrying on for the longest time, 30, 40 years.
The one child policy.
The one child policy, yes. So that means they're doing it consciously.
Yeah.
That's similar to the human reduction plan. Because
So-
it's because the time and situation that country was in at that time.
Yeah.
Because they want to develop, right?
Yes.
They need human resource, but they don't need so many.
So that's
Because
that's a great point. Kevin.
because
so
yeah,
in
if you,
order
if you
to
look
develop-
at that situation,
in order to develop as a world, as planet Earth,
yes.
we focus a lot of problems on the existing population. What if we didn't have as many mouths to feed? Maybe we can advance further. And I'm just showing the other side. I'm not saying I agree or believe in that, but doesn't it doesn't, from a pure logic standpoint, doesn't it make sense that if there's finite resources, right, then you can't have an infinite amount of people.
We don't know the finite resource, but yeah. So I think our understanding is that the resource on this earth is limited. Yes, it's limited because it's a physical earth. It's only so big, right? So, this big. We cannot blow it up, make it bigger, right? So I think yes, depends on how you want it. Like for example, you want to do it consciously, just like what China did for 30, 40 years. And now they switch, okay, then they open that up. Like you can have the second child or even have the third child. Why? Because that policy is hurting them. It's no longer working. Time has changed. Because they want that during that time because they want to develop the economy. Right? It's simply they don't have enough resource to feed so many people.
Yeah.
Right? So if they want to develop the economy faster, they must do that.
See,
But now the economy is already developed. Food is not a problem, right? And resource is not a problem because they have already advanced to the industrial the industry has advanced so much, then they can support a bigger population.
like what we should do sometime is I want to get the computer set up so we can ask AI some questions, because I wonder
Yes.
what's AI's solution to the world problem, right? Would
Then
they
you're
say
talking
to
about
reduce
most-
humans?
Yes, so that means we trust the point of view of AI, right?
Yeah.
And I think depends on the AI model. It could be subjective. It depends on what information you feed to train that machine.
Why should there be multiple
Because information
AI
out
models?
there, I don't know if information has some attribute like being good or bad. I would say yeah, because all this knowledge that we gather so far, right? It contains good and bad. It's our interpretation of the physical reality.
But wouldn't AI choose the most logical solution, not out of good or bad or whatever?
Not necessary.
So why?
Like for
have-
example, you talk about what we want to train AI on a certain knowledge domain, right? For example, it's ASAP law, it's material, whatever, right?
Okay.
Then you just feed them the specific knowledge, and AI will pick up on those knowledge, so we can use that knowledge to answer your question, to relate in that context, right? So what I'm saying is that you can actually limit the amount of information, or just feed bad information, evil information to AI. So the outcome from that is that AI will always use that information to respond to you. So
Okay.
that means it's all evil coming out of that. You know how it's like the dark magic or whatever, right? Like evil knowledge in the mankind. You can just choose to feed those information to the AI, and it will become like an evil AI.
So when you're talking about AI
Because
models,
actually, even AI training is
Yeah.
also biased because they like all those engineers, they have to like clean the data and then feed it to them. So it depends on what kind of information you feed to them.
see what I'm thinking is it's almost becoming full circle, right? So that you say, okay, you have different AI models. Now you're gonna say, okay, well, which model should I choose? It's gonna be people are gonna choose the model that they want to give them the right answer that they want. So why should there be multiple AI? Shouldn't it be one truth?
There's no one truth.
No, no, I'm saying there is
Oh,
no.
then
what shouldn't
I
it be
almost
one
talking
truth?
like this like a parallel reality,
No, shouldn't it be one truth though? Okay, so
the
for example,
alternate reality.
but this is what I'm saying. So let's say I have you here on to talk to, right? Because I know somewhat what kind of answers I'm going to get, and obviously I'm not going to choose someone who's going to argue all the time so that we can't get further, right?
Yeah.
But with AI, it's a little bit different. So let's say
So
I
you
want-
want
I-
want
I-
AI to be objective.
so
That's
if
what you
I
want.
if I ask the calculator what's
Yeah.
2 plus 2,
Yeah,
I want to
so-
see 4. I don't want to see
Yes,
like an
in
alternate
mathematics,
version.
in mathematics, 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Yeah.
But in some other context, not mathematic. Like,
But if Kevin's calculator tells me 5, we're like,
yes,
well,
yes, it could be 5.
I mean, I want more money, so
yes,
maybe I'll
it
go
could
to
be
Kevin's
5.
calculator.
It could be 5 because it depends on the reality that you see, right?
Yeah.
So in mathematics, yeah, if you follow the rules
Mm-hmm.
and laws of your mathematics, you get 4.
Yeah. So let's say if Kevin's calculator gives me
Yes.
5, that means I get more money every time I go to Kevin's calculator. Then of course I'm going to choose Kevin's calculator. Same
Yes.
thing
So
as let's
you-
say Trudeau's government
Yes.
versus another government. So if that government gives me more money, of course I'm going to vote for that government, right?
Yes.
Even though the underlying foundation of why I'm getting the money is false, or it's artificial,
Because
or-
that's not what you care about. You care about the result,
yes,
right? You only care about the result.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
say for example, you're building something, right? You need the measure to be accurate. You don't want the calculator to give you 5 when you punch in 4 by 2, the 2 plus 2. You want 4, but not 5.
But that's my question. What do we want as a human race? Do we want truth, or do we want the lie?
Depends.
How can it depend?
It depends. It depends.
Do you want the truth or do you want the lie?
I sometimes want the truth. I sometimes want the lie. So, okay, for example, right? Like, okay, when some people are really like, okay, ugly, also say, do you want to say the truth every time?
Do you want to
It's like,
hear
oh,
that?
you look ugly.
Do you want to hear you're beautiful when you're ugly?
I don't know. Or maybe not, maybe. I don't know. Depends.
How does that help you though?
It doesn't. Doesn't matter though.
Depends on how you value the
Yeah,
truth.
it all depends.
No, but okay, let's say I want to know the truth. Then
You want
it's
the truth.
valuable to me.
You want a truth that is valuable to you.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we don't know the truth. We only put theories on it and try to explain it.
What do you mean we don't know the truth?
We,
Let's
we
say
don't know enough.
I know 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Because you thought you accepted that you accept the premises.
It's a universally accepted.
Yes, it's a universally
reality.
accepted reality. Yes, because then that's how we understand the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anything else would be false. So let's.
Okay, let's say parallel universe does exist, right? Before quantum physics, we only think, oh yeah, one thing cannot, exist in another place. That's your understanding. Before quantum physics,
Sure.
but then they
Okay.
find out, oh shit, this thing can coexist in different places at the same time.
Yeah.
Or it depends on the probability. Like your whole understanding is out of the window. Like in that case, you're confused. It's just like you you snap.
Okay, now we're getting into multidimensional. So I'm saying just basic this reality. If I say, okay, Kevin,
Yes.
you
Yes.
you and I are gonna do business together,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And then say, okay, so 2 plus 2 equals 4, but I tell you no, 2 plus 2 equals 3, Kevin. So I only owe you.
You know they say 0 is bigger than 1.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me.
It's a joke.
So let's say you're saying, hey Pete, like I know we're supposed to split the profits and whatever, and 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So we're supposed to each get 2, right?
Yes.
But I tell you, no, Kevin, 4 divided by 2 equals whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 and 1. So I'll get 3, you get 1, and then you're like, what the hell? Like, no, but
Yes.
that's my reality.
So I know because that
It
that's,
can't be- it
that's
can't be-
the
it can't be
protocol.
different.
All
It
the rule or laws that we established and we all agreed on.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's what the government and
Yes.
some, influencers,
So-
that's what they do to us. They,
No, I
they
know.
try to make us look at reality differently
Yes.
than what it should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you use the example of math, then I think we already accepted math as like that because we count the things in the universe in a quantity of like.
Okay, let's not
1,
use
2,
math.
3, 4.
Let's say the what is it? Let's say your freedoms or your rights,
Yes.
your human rights.
Yeah.
So based on the Constitution for Canada, your right to I can't remember what they all right to happiness, right to kind of like the same. It's similar to the American ones.
The human right.
Yeah,
The basic
human
human
rights.
right.
Basic human
it's
rights.
food, water, shelter, the freedom of whatever.
I looked it up before. But,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
like the basic
but,
human right.
But are we achieving all those human rights? And the government can, they have their spin on things too.
Of course.
Now, those are,
Because-
I mean, it's not as hard as mathematics, but they are written down human rights that we're not achieving for everybody, right?
Yeah, it's not possible.
It's a human right.
I know it's a human right. It's only looks good in writing, but in reality, that's not the case.
Like, okay, and then I can't remember if one of the rights was the right to freedom of speech.
Yeah. Okay. Take freedom of speech for example.
Okay, wait,
right?
wait, just give me 1 second. I'll go wash it. I'll be right back. Okay, so this will be sensitive subject. Is like, let's say, if I say we have the freedom of speech, right? Then explain to me the trucker situation where they froze bank accounts because they're expressing their rights.
That's not freedom of speech. Yeah, they it's see that's for the same thing. You can, but the way Trudeau did it, it's not democracy, right?
Right.
It's dictatorship.
Well, we're a socialist government. We're not true
That's
democracy.
that's not democracy at all. But we are using democracy for the election, right? That's democracy.
Yes.
That's the fundamental of democracy.
Yeah.
But then Trudeau elected by I don't know more than 51%
Yeah.
of people, and he's not represent 51%. I
Yeah.
don't think that 51% of people would want to stop the trucker. Maybe just the people in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they getting annoyed and then they're not sleeping at night.
Now, if that happened in China, I understand. People.
Why you understand that in China? Because you perceive that China is a dictatorship country, but it happened in Canada. It's not acceptable.
No, China's a communist country, right? It's not quite a dictatorship because don't you have like you have some kind of checks and balances too.
Not really. It's dictatorship. Yeah, it's one man show. Not one man show. It's a group of people. It's similar. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. End result is the same.
Sure,
End result is the same. So in
can't-
this case, it's actually a perfect example for that. Like
Okay.
what Trudeau did. You think is different from China? No.
no, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
right,
That's my point, right?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we're a socialist country, so we
Yeah, you think it's socialist country? That means what defines a socialist country, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just your hope, but that's not the reality.
It is the reality. It is. So they
Yeah,
proved
you
it.
think okay if you define socialist country should do this in this in this very specific, right? But what happened to Trudeau?
What's socialist to you, though? To me, socialism means that the government will get involved when it has to. Right?
The government's involved all the time.
Not all the time. Like, okay.
Well,
post-
not
let's
to
say
the,
the
not to
postal
the
strike.
extent of your bedroom, but
Yeah, but the postal strike. I mean, they didn't get involved until what now? 1 month later.
yeah, it depends on the tolerance, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
how much they can stand it. Because I think that's a function of the government, at least at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
They should intervene when it causes problem for the society.
Which is the same as China,
Same thing,
right?
right?
So,
They stop, whatever the June 4th
Yeah.
movement. Same
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
They have to do that.
yeah.
Right?
So it
Otherwise,
got
it's
to a
causing
certain
a bigger
point.
problem. I was just arguing about that with my daughter. 'Cause
Yeah.
She grew up here in Canada.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's dictatorship and this and that. But otherwise, it would cause a bigger problem. More people will have to die.
But isn't okay? So I think that's the role of government. The role of government should be to
To govern.
intervene,
To govern.
to intervene when the people
Like,
need it. Right.
This word govern encompasses so many things.
Yeah.
It's just a very, very high level. But how you govern, how you carry out the principles,
but it should be.
how you go by what it's supposed to be.
But the government should be for the people. So
Yeah, it
for
should
example,
be for,
let's,
but now it's
but
not.
How about exactly? So let's say Ukraine, the 250 million. I didn't agree to, for my taxes to go there.
But they, in the name of democracy, in the name of
But that's not my country.
it's an ideology fight.
But that's not my country. My country is Canada.
Yeah,
Like, why should
I
I?
know.
Why do I need to?
but they think, oh, maybe Russia gets so big that they can invade you and make you a slave, so they can make up excuse like that.
I don't know.
Right?
I mean,
It-
actually,
it's to like even fighting terrorism. It's like, oh, defend our democracy.
yeah.
Who can say no to that?
I wonder how much China's put into that war.
Of course they will, because China thinks it's about the same thing. They're not dumb, right? They're not gonna wait there and for you to kill them.
But they put the money into the Russian.
Oh,
side.
the economy, right? The trade between
Yeah.
Russia. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a way of supporting them, like
Yeah.
allying, right?
Yeah.
If not putting it on the paper.
So that's like when we're talking about government, AI, freedom of speech, all of these things. This is all tied into the same thing. What is the role like of Well, let's.
Oh,
What is the rule?
if you talk about the role of the government in AI, I don't think the government has stepped in yet, because I think this thing will get out of hand once it happened. It's almost so. See, that's the thing, right? Why is the government not intervene, not stepping in now? So that means it's because something is behind that. The government, what it represent.
They should be in it right now, right from
Yes.
the inception.
But why is not? You think about that?
I don't know.
Because you know what, AI in China, it's actually the government involved so much in AI, investing in AI, and navigating the AI direction by the government.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think this AI war, if you put it that way, it's going to be won by a dictatorship country,
Yeah.
because I think they try to make AI to work for the country, but not against the people.
Okay.
But you see now why Elon Musk is suing Sam Altman. It's because OpenAI was supposed to be open and free, non-profitable. But Sam Altman that now turned it into a profitable, a private technology, only benefit a small group of people, Microsoft in this case,
Yeah.
right? And he has his own agenda as well.
Well, that's a
Right?
human nature, right? To
That's
have
a human nature,
agenda.
yes.
Which is why I'm
Yes.
saying government needs to be involved.
But the government is not involved.
Yeah. Well, that's.
But who's behind it? The government should get involved.
Exactly. But as a.
But then I think the ultimate is that how is the resource distribution
But the
going to
government
work?
is not just one person, right? That's why I'm
No,
saying.
it's not. It has so many. It's so complex. It's never represent one group of interest.
Yeah.
A lot of interest.
Which is why it's hard. To
I think the
understand.
majority is the interest of the people. In this case, we don't have any expression in the government. We'd just be passive, but not active.
But you and I.
The only way we can be active is that every election.
But you.
Oh,
and-
we pick this and that.
you
But
and- you and I
every
as-
government we elect
But I think-
will become the same.
That's the thing. You and I, as citizens, we trust the government to intervene or get involved in AI.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. So that's why you and I have questions like, why aren't they? Well, who knows?
Well,
what
it
the
would be
reason is.
interesting to find out. I don't know if we can find out,
Yeah.
right?
We're not privy to that. We may or may not be privy to that information. But the problem is, you and I, unfortunately, at our level,
Yeah.
I mean,
We only can talk.
we can only
We can only
theorize.
talk. Yeah,
like,
theorize.
what's happening.
What's
right?
happening? Yes. Just
we're-
because we're looking at this reality of what's happening, what we think is happening,
Yeah.
and come up with the conversation here,
Yeah.
right?
So-
Maybe if you talk to somebody else, they say, "Oh, you guys is bullshit. You just talk about shit like
Well,
that's totally not true."
We're passively dependent on whatever happens
Right.
with AI,
Right.
based on the fact that the government is going to decide whatever, right?
Yeah, because I think in this case, it's not like they inventing a light bulb or something has a small impact on the society. Because in this case, AI would have an ultimate impact
Yeah.
on the human society.
Yeah.
Because AI can totally replace a human.
We disagree on that, right? I don't think it can totally replace a human.
In most of the human function. Like you can even have an AI wife or husband in the future.
Would you want
For
an
now,
AI
for now,
wife?
even your brother can talk to an AI because you have a conversation.
Yes.
Isn't that what marriage is all about? Like companion,
But he's
and
but that's a different.
companionship,
My brother.
and talk about the economic effect. Like for example, in the future, this is AI. Maybe you don't need to work anymore. I don't know if it's.
But I think it
maybe
depends.
it's gonna be worse.
It depends on what you value. If you value perfection, so you're saying, okay, I want to talk to something.
Yeah, so
that's perfect.
that's actually now China or some other country making this AI companion, like
Yeah.
wife and husbands. We're
Yeah.
selling it right now. It's already there.
But you don't think that's
It's already there. Like the fuse, like touch his face,
Yeah.
his skin,
but
and
you don't
it's
think
like,
that's a little strange though? Would you want an AI wife?
no, I don't. But in some aspects, yes. Right? It's like
Why?
in terms
No,
of
no,
having
okay.
a conversation, or in terms of helping, maybe AI husband or wife can cook. Why not? You already want that, don't you?
No, I like cooking myself.
Okay, but not all the time, do you?
I have Uber Eats
Okay.
for that.
You like cooking. It's because you like to be cooking. But what if I tell you you can have fun with something else? You can develop your interest in something else, where your food and your dinner is taken care by something else. Right now, yes, you can say Uber is one way.
Yeah,
A robot is another way.
yeah.
It's a home cooked meal, and it's delicious. It's almost like a Michelin chef that preparing food at your house. For example, hypothetically, would
If
you
you-
want that?
So do I want something that can just I snap my fingers, say hey,
Yes.
and then
Why not? You snap your finger, Uber Eat comes to your house.
no,
Right?
okay, sure,
Right?
In some,
You like to
yes.
cook, but not all the time, right? Maybe for example, you come home, after a long day. I'm so tired.
But
I
what
don't
do you-
wanna-
what do you-
I just want dinner on my table.
What do you want from an AI partner? For you to be right all the time, or
You can adjust, because see, human mind, it's like that. We don't want things always the same. We want to entertain, right?
okay?
Sometimes we want this, sometimes we want that. Our minds are always changing. Depends on the condition. Depends on your mood. Depends on your day. Right?
So
So, like you said, you want to be your partner be more challenging, or you wanted your partner be more obeying, or like
both.
meeting you. Yes. So depends
You
on
have to
when.
have some common ground. But
Depends
you
on
have to
you
be
when.
different in a little bit too.
In a fight, you want your partner to obey you. You
In a
want
fight?
you want in a casual conversation, you want your partner be more provocative, to be more interesting, not just saying yes, yes, yes. Isn't it?
I'm trying to think. Like, in one aspect, I would say no.
When?
Because you that's part of the human condition, right?
Yes.
You have
Yes. What if the robot can do anything that you want? You want it to be evasive, like you want it to be provocative, right?
okay. No,
Or you want it to be, you just tell, okay, robot, be bitter, be
Yeah, but-
sarcastic,
no.
be funny, and then the robot can suddenly change mood.
If I have to tell it what to do,
Yes.
then that's not what I
Oh,
want.
you want to be spontaneous.
Yes. That's
But see,
part-
that's the thing about human, right?
okay.
Because that's all in your mind. You want it to be spontaneous the way that you want. It's almost like the thing that I talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You just want things the way that you want.
But don't you think that's a human survival technique, is to be spontaneous?
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying
That's
that.
why we dominate the animals.
I'm not denying
right?
what you think you dominate the animal.
Well, we're
Yeah,
inno-
you kill the cows and you kill the pigs and you eat them.
we're
right?
innovative. I think that's why we
Yeah, you do all that just
Yeah.
because you want it that way.
yeah, because physically we're weaker than bears, right?
Yeah.
Physically we're weaker than tigers and all these things, but we have innovation. We have all these things that us as a weaker animal, we have a bigger brain, right? We have more.
Yeah, you are
Intellect.
more intelligent. You are capable of more complex thinking.
Yeah,
And that's what you're talking about,
yeah,
right? You don't think the animal don't have that. Animal has that. Animal has emotion. Same as us. Like the dog can understand you, right? The chicken, even the bird, even the lion, they have emotion. They have love. They have feeling. They all have that. Don't you think they don't?
in a different way, right?
What
But-
you
but-
you
but
just think human way it's the unique
But
way.
my-
Nothing else is it's similar.
my point,
But I'm
Kevin,
saying they
my
are the
point,
same.
Kevin, is I don't think you want an obedient partner all the time. Right?
Not yeah, exactly. Not all the time,
Yeah.
but sometimes. It depends on you, on how you like it that way.
But if you
and,
have to
and
say-
when and where and how.
So let's say if you had a wife, and this is a ridiculous scenario. Say, okay, I need you to be obedient now, and then you have your
But
discussion.
aren't you? Isn't that the reality?
No, it isn't.
Isn't that the reality?
It isn't. You can't do that.
What do you mean? That's what argument is all about, right? It's because you want it your way.
So you argue and say, okay, I
Yeah,
need
you
to
argue
be,
because you want it your way.
but you literally say that I need you
No,
to
no, no,
obey,
no.
and then
You,
it happens?
you, what? The whole act of arguing, it's you want it your way.
No, I think
For
the
fun?
whole act of the argument or
Yeah.
debate
Yeah.
is you're hearing another opinion and trying to find a solution that works for both people. It's not about
Okay. In some case, yes, you
Some
may
cases
you
about
may
winning.
reach an agreement.
yeah.
But then the agreement either it's your idea or his idea.
I mean,
or her idea.
technically, it should be to come to a solution
This
that
this not always an amalgamation of both.
Mm-hmm.
It's only black and white. For example, it's like for example, you and your wife. Let's say, let's go out for dinner, right?
sound is quicker than the video. Video's delayed. Oh, okay.
Oh shit, it's lagging.
You need a BRB. Oh, yeah, that's when I went to go washroom. Yeah. See, this is all stuff I'm gonna have to.
That's the
Camera
technical stuff. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if it's so difficult, but I mean, if you use TikTok, that's so
Yeah.
much easier. Everything is taken care of. by
That's
you.
what we need
Like you
AI
try to
for.
make this whole
Wait.
thing so complex and it's not working.
It's not that complex. I mean, there's.
Well, it is. Now that you have to learn this whole thing, like how you synchronize the video and the sound. Like
Well,
with,
we have to
with the
figure out-
TikTok, all you have to do is put it in your
See, I
phone. and
wonder
that's
if
it.
you have. No, how do you do that though?
Oh, TikTok. Just put it on and broadcast
Long
yourself.
form podcast like this, you can't just do it on TikTok.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah.
No, never tried, but
But usually the people control it at 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Well,
Yeah.
you can have it in half an hour. Right?
No,
you can have a stream.
I like.
You can
I
have a
like,
stream.
I like this format, kind of like Joe Rogan podcast, because
No,
the longer
that
you
would be the
talk
same.
about it,
Yeah.
then you basically go in depth into different issues that forms the subject matter, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with TikTok, it's so concise, you can't really get. It's
No.
It's just touching.
That's
things,
a
right?
misconception about Big TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be short and,
Yeah.
and to the point.
Yeah.
But then you can have like a stream, like live stream with TikTok, and people will come to you. Like I'm gonna have it for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it for 2 hours. You can do that. Like
Yeah, we
as
could
long as
try
you
that
build
too.
up your audience,
Yeah.
and you can just put that. Don't they? I mean, just sit there and talk forever. It's
Yeah.
not about just short video, right? It has a different format. It's called a
Yes.
live stream.
Oh yeah, that's what Sarah's saying. You can live stream multicast. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
We could try it. See, that's even more stuff we
It's
got.
easier, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
easier, right?
I don't know. I mean, this is our first time trying this, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
have
no.
to see.
You have to figure this
the
out.
sound
like, yeah, the
sync,
sounds.
and then even camera angles. Like, I don't know if this is the right angle because I've been trying to switch the scenes, but then it's I'll be thinking about what you're saying, but then I forget to switch the scene while you're so that it's on the wrong
Yeah, so that's
camera.
why we need to hire
Yeah.
an intern to do that, right? Like,
Or have AI do it.
let's show Peter on the show.
Or we have AI do it. No, I'm getting back to the question. So let's say
Yeah, so
if
what I'm
you-
saying is that not always you can have a single answer. Like, you can have
but that's
a win-win situation.
but that's why
what I'm
you
saying.
can't have
one
an
one
AI
example.
partner.
Yeah, okay. One example is that you and your wife planning to go out. I feel like Chinese.
Yeah.
I feel like it in maybe a steak, right? So in that case, right, unless you go to a restaurant where they serve Chinese and steak at the same time, right? Otherwise, you have to go to either Kex or Chinese restaurant. So there's no win-win situation in this case. You have to pick one. So you need to swing things the way that you want. Like, say, okay, I convince you. You try to convince your wife. You in a fight.
Yeah.
So why don't we have Chinese? Right? Why don't we? Because we haven't had Chinese for such a long time.
Yeah.
And your wife's like, I feel like steak. I don't like Chinese food.
Yeah.
I'm sick of Chinese food.
Yeah.
Right? So in that case, how are you gonna solve it?
That's compromise.
Yeah. So compromise. Somebody has to give in.
Yeah. So
Right?
so
So you try to get it your way.
but I think that's part of the human condition is that
So that means in that situation, you want things your way.
not all the time though.
Not all the time, yes, exactly. So, but then you want your wife somehow. Yes, I love you because I want it. Because maybe your birthday, maybe it's not. Let's go to Chinese.
Yeah.
Just for today.
Yeah.
Have it your way. I give it.
Only on your birthday?
Maybe I don't know if you're lucky. Right?
I
You know how women are,
no, I
right?
see now we're getting at a touchy subject that's gonna get us in trouble.
Just get us in trouble. No, we're not in trouble. We're both single, so we're all good, right? We can talk about that. We're not getting not by not getting not getting into trouble.
What I'm saying is like the compromise is not. I think you don't want someone who's arguing with you all the time, but you also don't want someone who's
I know.
obeying all
See,
the
that's
time,
what I'm saying, right? You just want it the way that you are, whatever mood that you're in, whatever way that you are thinking, whatever angle or perspective that
yeah.
you are on.
Yeah.
You want them to see the things the same way that you see it,
no,
or
not
sometimes
all the time.
not all the time. Maybe it's you. But I'm saying in most of these situations, you want it the way that you want.
No, as we talk, I'm listening to your point of view.
Yes.
I may not agree with it,
Yes.
but I think that's the cause of a lively discussion is that we agree on certain things, which is a common ground.
we can come onto the show and argue.
Yeah,
And
But then-
argue, endless argue. Like you present your evidence, I
It would
present
be-
my reasoning.
It would be such a shitty podcast if you came on and you just agreed with me all the time. I'd be like, okay, well, we have nothing to talk about then.
No, I know. That means because your purpose is try to make this podcast interesting, provocative.
No,
like,
no,
you
no,
know,
no. I'm searching for the truth.
yeah.
Alright,
So,
so
I
I'm-
don't think maybe the truth is not coming from both of us. We're just seeking. Right? We're just talking here as two human beings.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe our point of view is totally off.
Yeah.
Out to lunch.
Yeah.
Could happen. But maybe we never find the truth. What are the odds that the truth coming from both of us?
Oh, very little. But
Right?
So the reason why we talk is because, let's say you and I, we both observe the world being imperfect.
Yes.
Obviously, right?
Yes.
Now,
So-
but what is the reality? And I think that's our search is for the truth, or what is the reality of AI, government, all of these things, and then
This is
at the,
way more complex.
are we complaining for nothing? Who knows, right? Maybe
Well, that's all we can do.
no, but-
Maybe it's a complaint for nothing.
But it goes back to the Matrix, right? So,
Yes.
should we accept the Matrix, right? Because I think
you kind of accepted it, and then you want to fight.
in some of the texts, you were like, well, if you don't like Canada, then
Move to some
then
other
move
country. Go to
some
Mexico, right?
But you know what? What if I don't? I'm Canadian. I was born here. I want this country to be better. Like there was times I'm looking at Mexico, whatever. But you know what? I'm not giving up ground. This is my country.
So why don't you go for election, become a candidate? I'll vote for you, right? If you really want that, but not just talking here.
I'll say
All we're doing here is just whining.
I don't think so.
Maybe just try to.
I don't
see-
think so.
Maybe
No.
Maybe just try to see what we can do.
I don't think so. I don't
maybe
think so.
something will come out of it.
Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
If let's say I run for government or something,
Yeah.
it's a lot of investment,
Yes.
time,
Yes.
personally, and
Yes.
how far can you
It's
get?
not simple.
With it. It's not simple.
It's
Exactly.
not simple.
Exactly.
It also based on your capability.
But is there better methods to change things? And look at Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan
Yes.
with his podcast and his discussions with Trump. I mean, some say he did, cause a lot of influence in the elections, right? Well, why can't we do it that way? So that's why I'm saying,
Yeah,
thinking
okay.
this is a way.
Yeah, I know. So ultimately, you're saying I want to make a difference.
Yes. with this,
Big or small, depends on how things goes.
yeah, whatever I can.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. I think that's your choice.
And I
yes.
think that's I think
so
that's
I think that's your choice, and then that's the thing we want to do. Yes.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do because I would like to think that both you and I want a better Canada. We want things to work out better for ourselves, just because we
No,
have.
I think everybody want a better Canada, no matter how
You
they
think so?
how they
I
think
don't-
a
I
better
don't know.
Canada it
I don't
is.
know about that.
Oh, except Trudeau, he doesn't want a better Canada.
Like-
but yeah, so, but I think for regular ordinary people, right,
Mm-hmm.
we want to live in a better environment, a better society, where
Yes.
where our needs are better met.
Where I don't have to worry about being robbed on the streets or whatever. Like you look at homelessness right now, mental health issues, people getting randomly attacked. Like this is kind of crazy. To be honest, like I think I texted you. Edmonton now has 3 times the average murder rate of Canada.
Yeah, I think in general, the Canada, I think the crime rate has gone up, even in Toronto too,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So like murder, gunshots happening everywhere, like robberies,
Home invasions,
home invasions,
stores. Yeah,
Because I think this is an uncertainty time. It manifests itself in the natural disaster as well. Like something's happening on Earth, right? It's not just a human society, right? This is just one manifestation of that. Like we have in so much severe weather, earthquakes, like weird phenomenons. It's all happening. Like
I don't-
the
I don't
floods
know.
in Spain,
yeah, but I don't think
in China, like the typhoon or whatever, right?
I don't think crime is
Like the
increasing
earthquake in the
because of the
U.S.
weather.
Like it happens more often now,
Yeah.
right? So, but then it's crumbling. Like this, I'm not saying the universe is crumbling. The our Earth, like whatever is happening, I don't know what caused that, but it's crumbling.
But crime has nothing to do with the weather, extreme
Oh,
weather
the
conditions.
crime has to do with the economy
Well, and the politics, right?
and the politics,
Yeah.
because the economy is going bad. And I don't know if there's a tie to what's physically happening in around us in terms of the weather, the natural disaster, and all that, right? It has, for example, right, like the COVID, right? Because of COVID, the shipment overseas, it's limited, so everything becomes so expensive. That hurts the economy. It slows down, slows everything down, right?
Yeah.
We don't ask for COVID, but then it has the impact on all of us closely in our life. Because every food item, everything's become more expensive because of that. Right? That's what the big environment has impact on us.
Yeah.
And when the economy goes bad, people don't get jobs.
Yeah.
But they still have to survive. They still have to put food on table. They have to eat to survive. But they are not getting jobs. What else they can do? Robbery,
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
Like I said, if they are in the good position, like you have your company, you have your work, you're making good money, right? Comfortable life. Would you go do a robbery, commit a crime, to get your money, get your food that way? No, you don't.
I mean, I'm not making like crazy.
No. I'm
money.
saying, yeah, you
But-
and me. At least it's not at the point of we have to survive by committing a crime.
But I think give like some sort of disaster, financial disaster, we could easily be back. to
I know,
that
I know.
Situation,
but I'm
right?
saying right now, you and I sitting here talking
Yeah.
about here, we don't planning to go out, rob the bank, and
No.
commit a crime
No.
to survive.
No.
No, right?
But what? But
But what about those people? They couldn't
Yes.
get job. The
Yes.
unemployment rate so high. Who caused that?
But as a
We don't care who caused that.
As
But
a-
the reality is that they don't get job.
as a fellow human,
Yes.
do we fault them for that? So I'm thinking about it.
Well,
say
that's
if
unfortunate. That's how it is.
I'm thinking if I was in their position,
Yes.
let's say, everything kind of went away
Yeah.
somehow, like a fire happened and boom, I
Yes.
lost everything.
Yes, the natural fire, like in
Then,
Jasper,
yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
lost the business. They lost the house.
Exactly.
What would they ask for the fire? No, they don't.
Yeah. You know,
right?
that's a
But
good
they
point.
that impacts them closely
Yeah.
in their life. Like
Yeah.
maybe some of those people become a criminal, right? A
Yeah.
criminal because they do things not in the boundary of law,
But could you
right? Because
could you
but
blame them?
they need to survive.
Could you blame them though?
I don't blame them.
You're saying, yeah, okay, so there we go. So that's criminality based on environment, I guess you could say,
Yes.
right?
So that's what I just explained, right? Natural disaster, things happening around us physically in this earth will eventually have impact on our life. Everybody. Maybe a solar flare would have impact on us. It causes your health problem.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question then. Okay, if COVID caused so much financial hardship,
Yes.
shouldn't be the government's role to not exacerbate that hardship? So what I mean by that is if it was going to cause us this many problems, then maybe the wrong solution was to force everybody to,
See, the COVID, I think is one good example to talk about that, right? Like in the East and the West. The
Yeah.
West is saying, hey, we're going to follow the natural selection law,
yeah,
right? We're not going to help you survive,
yeah,
right? Whatever it is, you just died, and then this has nothing to do with me. We're not going to lock down our business. We're not going to lock down everything. You just go do whatever you want, like in the U.S. Where in China, they invest billions of dollars to lock
Yeah.
people down,
yeah,
and they do daily test twice, 2-3 times. Everybody had to stay in the house. Nobody can go out. You are blocked by people in your building. They have set up barricades in your residential area. You cannot go out of your area. You cannot go onto the road.
yeah,
That's an order.
yeah.
So they do it that way.
See, and it crippled people. Like you look at Sweden, they didn't do anything at all, and
But look at Sweden. The population density is so small.
sure.
It has minimal impact.
Like I don't know what the right answer is, but I know for
There's no
Sweden,
right
their
or wrong
economy
answer.
didn't suffer. They just
If you
kept going.
if you just look at the result, because like Sweden is just a small country. Sweden has all the money into the bank. That's all that the main economy is all about. COVID does not affect that because they live on the bank, the World Bank.
Like personally, I feel
Their economy, they
whether-
have no economy except the bank.
I feel whether you got
So
the vaccine or
that
not,
example
you
is
still would
one
get
bad
COVID.
example. I'm just
Yeah,
saying for us, like
Yeah.
U.S., Canada,
Yeah,
Mexico, like those countries, has like economy, physical economy, right? So, did they do a good job? No. A lot of people die in the U.S. because they opened, let everybody do whatever. It's like freedom, right?
Yeah.
Because the government not going to step in and spend this billions of dollars to save the people, to save life, because where's the money come from?
yeah,
But in China, they did spend billions and billions of dollars. So they control that. So after 3 years, they opened up. Not a lot of people died. Only at the beginning in Wuhan, the people died because they see the severity of that
But
disaster.
prior to 2020, the economy was quite good, and the
Yeah.
interest rates were low,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now
Now everything gone up.
now
like
everything
the food
got
price,
exactly.
right? That's
So-
the impact.
So was it worth it though? That's the question.
No, it's not worth it. It's just that happening. But then people say, "Oh yeah, because the virus it's man-made. It's not natural." I don't know. It's conspiracy,
Yeah,
right? But then you ask, is it worth it or not? I don't see that it's worth it or not. It's just that the things that happened, then natural or unnatural, I don't know, right? But it's just happening in our lifetime. It's just that we experienced that, right? We hope that we can go past that and live on,
yeah.
right?
But when we're talking about the homelessness, mental health issues, whatever, there's so many people lost jobs since the economy's
That's a
gone down.
consequence.
It is the consequence, right?
That
but
is
what
the
do we do now?
consequence.
Isn't government's role is to like get people back on their feet and do all these things.
But see, the Canadian government, they did something, right? Like you give in the
CERB.
the $2,000
Yeah,
a
yeah,
month
yeah, yeah.
for the family, right? So if you're not working, then you have to have income and all that for I don't know how long,
Yeah.
right? A few months, right? At least get people past that.
Did you get CERB?
I get a couple months because I didn't get a contract, right? Because I because everything's locked down. So there, like the Canadian government did something like that, right? I don't know if the U.S. did that, but it different, different, from countries to country, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you ask that question, is it worth it? I don't know. If we try to say if there's a right thing or wrong thing, what is the criteria to assess if it's right or wrong? I don't know. But if you're looking at people's lives, like, did it actually save people's life? Less people die. Like, look what happened in India, right? The government that does nothing. They don't do shit. And people like drinking cow urinate and cow shit. It's like try to cure COVID, but so many people die.
Yeah.
Like seeing those horrible video, right? People just fall down on the road, like die inside, right? Because simply India don't have the capability to help people. Their population is just massive.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay, so that's
But
their
compared to
situation.
China did a good job. Really.
Okay.
Really. Right, see, that's the difference. But if you say, hey, compare India and then China, all this outcome for the people who die or who live on, which one is better? Do you know the answer?
Well, let's say COVID 2.0 comes out.
It will.
Should we do the same
It's
thing?
coming.
Same thing? Or should it have been done better? What do you think?
I would prefer the Chinese way, if you can, because if you die, then nothing there, right? I think everybody want to live.
What's the Chinese way?
Would you want to be in the country that take care of your life, or you want a country that don't give a shit?
So how is the Chinese way different from the Canadian way?
The Chinese way is like they lock everything down, they force everybody to stay home.
We did that too.
Yeah, the Canadian way is similar to China. I'm not saying Canadian is bad, right? It
Okay.
did in some certain extents.
Yeah.
But still, at the beginning, it's not like that. But later on, they say, oh, yeah, more and more is happening, right? People are dying, like in the funeral home is all jammed up, and then all that, right? So they see the consequence, and they put a stop and say, okay, let's lock down. Then kids don't go to school, right? For a year, the kids have to do homeschool, right? Online school. We did that for a year, right? And then slowly open up. It's like it's a balance, right? So it's a different approach, but not exactly same as China. But then it's a different approach. So I think Canada is not bad for what's done during COVID,
Yeah.
right? So at least we still here, right?
I think I'd like to maybe do some research on the comparison of countries, like how were they ranked in terms of their COVID reaction, and like let's say when it does come out again, like we know there's going to be another super bug, right? It's just
Yes.
natural
It's
that there is.
not natural or
But
unnatural. Like
Well,
it's come out from a lab
But
or
it's
something.
going to happen, right? Like
It's gonna
you
happen,
hear
yes.
about Ebola and all these other things. So what do you do, right? Should you have a complete lockdown and risk the same thing where you have
the rich people to build the bunkers in a bunker
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's their plan.
Yeah.
But for us, we can just go camping, right?
Well, we have our home, so let's,
Well, eventually it's come to your home,
Yeah.
right? But you cannot like still stay in the grid.
I almost think that in the
You
future,
have to be totally disconnected from.
I think for
from
the future,
outside.
more and more people will probably start thinking about survival and how do you live in your home for long term versus before.
It's already happened, right? So like you're saying, you're asking what happened next time.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, I'm thinking about it already.
You
I've
can
got a
only
solar
prepare.
generator. I've got all these things that
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
okay.
Okay, next time
Okay.
it happens, I want to make sure I have enough.
Let's go
supplies.
dig a tunnel somewhere and prepare. And
Like
put your
even
generation.
shit, man. Like when they had the toilet paper shortage, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like now,
That's
all of a sudden,
just-
I have to go get toilet paper.
Yes.
And
Toilet paper,
stockpile it,
it's a
right?
currency back then, It's ridiculous when you think of it now, right?
Well, that's 4 years ago, 2020. Now we're 4 years ago. That's crazy to
Yes.
think about it, right?
Yes.
And I mean, we'll probably be talking to our grandkids about, oh, I remember there's this time when, like
Yeah.
the world pandemic
Yes. Yes.
for 4 years or
You know,
3 years.
I mean,
right?
experiences that's something like that once in your lifetime. It, I don't know. It's like make your experience totally different in terms of lifetime. Maybe like in your other generation, they never experienced things like that.
Like
A
I remember,
worldwide pandemic.
I mean, for myself, I still went out and did work and whatever. I remember for you, every time I call you, you're locked in your apartment.
I'm even afraid talking to you on the phone.
Yeah, I
Like, you would get, COVID and pass it to me through the phone. Like shit. Right?
So two different approaches to the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you got COVID, right? You
I
ended up
got COVID at the end, right? Because I think when it opened up, I think it's in March. So we start going to the gym and play badminton, and then that's when we contracted COVID. So it's not severe because that's the end of the pandemic. Usually the virus become weaker and weaker at the end, and that's why it kind of disappeared. Still, COVID is still lingering around, right? But it's not as powerful as at the beginning. That's usually how pandemics are, right?
Yeah.
There's an old Chinese saying, the serious pandemic only lasts for 3 years. And that's how it is, 3 years. That's from the history.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's from the history. Any pandemic, serious pandemic, will not last for more than 3 years. And that's what's happened.
Okay.
So there's some truth to that. Seriously. You don't believe in that, but it is.
How about the Black Plague?
The Black Plague?
Yeah, that lasted more than 3 years. I'm pretty sure.
That's in Europe, right?
Yeah.
The Black Plague. Yeah, that's but it's eventually stopped, right?
Yeah.
So
But I don't think it was exactly 3 years, so that's why.
not exactly, but it's almost like there's a saying that's like how you calculate that from this, and I believe because virus it's like everything else on Earth. It has a beginning and end, right? It's only when it met its right condition it will grow, it will spread. Like it will have a beginning and the end. Same thing, right? Same thing as our life. We're born, we die. Same thing. We have a condition. If we don't have food, we're gonna die. So
Yeah.
that means if one condition is not met, we're gonna die. We're gonna disappear, right? So same thing as the virus, right? So that theory will stay because everything has a beginning and end.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, nothing lasts forever, right?
Nothing lasts
You know,
forever.
it's
But
good
then
and bad.
they are saying that around 3 years it will disappear, and that's what happened.
So what are you gonna do the next time? Lock yourself
Well,
in
lock
apartment
myself
again?
up for another 3 years. Right? If you want to survive.
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, like when you did that, I was like frustrated because I wanted to go out.
Like, holy shit,
And
come
you're
on,
like-
see me. I want to see a human being.
I know, man. I mean, we're humans. I mean, that's why I don't think I
But that's the
could.
thing, right? That's the
I
thing.
personally
Because
couldn't
I
have
think-
an AI partner. I need
Oh,
to.
but if you have an AI partner, right? Like, then you probably have less urge to go and see a human being, because I think if your need is satisfied by AI, right? You have something to talk to, like somebody to talk to and understand you.
I
Like,
think I would probably come out with mental illness.
a lot of people develop mental illness during COVID, right?
No. If all I had to talk to was AI, I think I would come out like not knowing
It's
what.
better
was-
than nothing to talk to, right?
I don't know, man.
Because people develop kind of weird game at home, like during COVID. You know how that is, right?
You know how you can humanize something, so I think eventually I would probably start treating AI like a human being and not lose the distinction between reality and AI.
But AI is also a reality. It's just that you don't accept AI as a reality yet, isn't it?
No, I accept that it's real.
Because if you see beyond that, that's what they're saying, right? Our life form now, it's a carbon life form,
Yeah.
like water and carbon, right? That's how our life form is. But for AI robot, it's a different.
I accept that
different
AI
kind of life form.
I accept AI exists, but I don't accept that it's human and or
It's because of the fact it's made by human. So you don't accept that. That's natural because you like spontaneous. You like things to be spontaneous.
yes, correct.
Because that is what you're stuck on, right? You say, "Oh, it has to be grow by the nature," then I accept it. That's authentic. That's natural. But anything man make, it's not natural. But then you miss the point that we are also part of nature. Human is also part of nature. So isn't AI happening is also part of nature?
Are you saying AI would have eventually existed no matter what?
Yeah. No, no, not no matter what. Even if it's coming from the hand of human, it's also natural.
Natural evolution of
Yeah. Aren't we natural? Aren't we natural? Are you natural?
sure.
Yeah. So anything you make
Oh,
is not natural.
hold on. Okay. Are we natural? But are we like
If you make something that's not
no, no,
natural.
no. So if you think about it,
So I think you stuck on the definition of like you try to distinguish this what is spontaneous, what is
Yes.
natural, and
Yeah.
it's what is it's intervened or made by intelligent because you think we have intelligent. Anything come out of intelligent is not natural. But then we are living in a natural environment. We are natural. All this happening is natural.
yeah. Well, it's two things. So us as human beings, I mean, we are again, like when they say how human beings came to be, there's a lot of factors that were involved.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, if you talk about human evolution, it's like, oh, yeah, we just this big bang, and then it's like this earth come out, lots of water, it's hot, and then it cools down, and it's all this condition is lining in the
Yeah.
air, and then the single cell comes out, and then live in the water, and then it somehow develop like, and then
Yeah.
evolve, and then it climb up on the shore, and it become a fish, no, a fish, and then it become a pig,
And somehow
and somehow become a monkey, and a monkey become us.
and somehow we didn't
If you
become
believe
extinct.
that, if you believe that,
Yeah, if you believe
then-
that somehow, but we didn't become extinct out of all of the stuff that happened. Where
we will be extinct. It's just a phenomenon over a period of time.
yeah, depends
The
on what
Earth
you
is
believe,
going to
right?
disappear. The sun
Yeah.
is going to disappear.
Depends on what you believe. Like we you know the ice age and
Yeah, it's just a process.
Yeah.
It's just a process.
yeah.
Depends on how you
So
look at
different
this
theories.
process.
There's different theories involved, but are we natural? Half and half. So right, I think there's like a
So then yes,
supreme
yes.
coincidence.
Yes.
And then there's the evolution. So the natural evolution of the human species and how it came to be. And then when we're
But
talking about
no,
AI,
if you believe in evolution, it's all accident. That's not natural.
aren't accidents natural?
What's your definition of natural?
Right, exactly. Right. I mean,
You just saying, yeah, it's already happened. It's already reality. You and me sitting here,
yeah.
that's natural.
Me sitting here, that's natural. I don't know.
You and me, and all this happening,
But-
this reality here,
okay.
it's natural,
So
isn't it?
So we've already talked about fate before too, and
Yeah.
you believe that there's fate,
There
and
is.
I don't believe
There
that
is.
there's fate.
Yes.
So you believe that this meeting here, this is our preordained,
Yes.
whereas I believe that we made this happen.
Depends on how you look at it. Right? Yeah, you can think, oh, I make this happen.
Uh huh.
It's not like, oh, we're destined to meet in this lifetime.
So you believe we were destined to meet in this lifetime?
Yes. It seems like this whole universe, it's chaos.
Yeah.
But yet, this universe, it's operating in a very, very order manner. Don't you think?
No. No. There's so
Yes, it's a balance.
this probably goes back to my desire for spontaneity.
Yeah. So what
Ver-
is your spontaneous need
Well, I think
come
this
from?
is spontaneous.
What is your definition?
This is spontaneous.
Okay, so spontaneous becomes like, oh, I have this mind, you have that mind, and we say something, and then this spontaneous. This is spontaneous. But what if you go back to the fundamental? Like if you go back, keep asking questions, like okay, how you become you, how I become me, right?
But
So-
Kevin, if you believe what you believe in, that means you had no choice but to say yes to coming to this podcast, right?
Not like no choice, because
It is though. The way you're describing it, fate. You're fated to be here. That means you
okay.
wouldn't have
So
had
let's
choice.
put it that way. Our fate is that we born, we die.
Mm-hmm.
That's our fate. It's controlled by nature. We cannot do anything about it.
Okay, sure.
That's fate.
So how about AI? All these advances in AI, this is meant to happen.
AI, I think it's also natural, because
Fate.
we have intelligence.
Fate.
They are not. Maybe you see how there's prophecy, right? They can tell the future, and it become, the reality.
Why are so many prophecies wrong then?
Some of them, but it depends on how good they are, right?
Most of them are wrong.
No. It's not 100%, but then you see they can predict certain things. Not predict, they see things.
I need to see
They see things.
statistics. I feel like it's probably less
They
than
see things.
20%.
They see things. Okay, obviously,
prophecies.
obviously, the government not telling you some truth, because they do use those people to predict the future. They see
Uh-huh.
things, but they just seeing things in different time and space, so though they overlap. So I think they're actually a reality there. They can see the reality in the future. So that's why they can tell. Oh, this is gonna be like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know how and why, but they can. So we're
You're-
already
okay.
predestinated.
I
It's
know what
already
you're talking
fixed.
about. You're talking about
So
remote
now
viewers.
there's
The remote viewers.
the
right?
remote viewers and different dimensions, because if you're talking about our role, it's only a
Yeah.
three dimensional things, right?
Yeah.
If you add in one more dimension, time, to it, that means it's already happening. No, not happening. Like the past, the present, and the future, all does not exist. They already there. It's like if you add on that time dimension, that means everything, it's already set.
So you believe in time travel?
Not time travel. I don't know if time travel exists or not. To me, time does not exist. Time is only subjected to human being. It's a concept of human that invented. Because if you
But you already said if you add in the dimension of time.
yeah, so that's their theory, right? That's a theory.
Okay.
Adding on to the our three dimension, right? Like this space,
Yeah.
and if you add on time, because time is like, okay, one simple explanation is that yesterday this happened, right? Like this is how your stay is, how you are yesterday, and of this different different state of you, of everything. It's like that.
Yeah.
So it's already there. It's already there. It's just almost like a movie. You know how we play the movie, right? You have films like 1 second you display 36 films, and that's how you've seen. Oh, that's like a moving stream of things. But those films are already there. It's just that it's shown it in a rotational fashion. Then it makes up, it projected to the wall or whatever, and you think, oh, that's a continue happening. But in fact, if you look at the film, it's already there. That's how you explain time dimension plus our three dimension. Because the film already there, it's already made. That's why the people can peek into those films, like this is gonna come.
See, the problem I have with fate, destiny, prophecy, all of that is that means the story's already written.
Yes.
So
What's the point?
What's the point?
You just
of-
fulfilling that play.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We're what do you
Yeah.
call
So
that?
come back to your Christian perspective on free will, right? Like
Okay.
you explaining that, like, oh, we have infinite number of reality or parallel universe.
Yeah.
Like every time you change your mind, you because you have free will, then a new parallel universe is gonna going to be spawned.
I don't know that that's
Right,
really
so
a
that's how
Christian
that's how it
perspective,
works.
but it's my
Yes,
perspective.
that's
Yeah.
that's a Christian perspective, right? That's how you explain. It's almost like very scientific, right? How are you gonna have this parallel universe every time you change your mind? Because if it's not made,
Mm-hmm.
right, then every time when I say this universe could happen,
Yes.
that universe happen,
Yes.
this universe happen, and then that universe will continue on
Yes.
with that, and
Yes.
it's gonna be infinite.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
infinity,
Yes. 100%.
right?
Yeah.
The infinity.
Yeah.
Right, so that maybe you can only explain it that way, like the infinite
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
You can explain why our mind changed, and then you do this and that will cause this change. Actually, there's a movie about that, right? Like who's in there, like Will Smith or the other guy. Like, okay, the guy's like he's like he can see the future, right? This guy's very like a pilot a helmet or something. Like he can see the future. Like, oh, you see the baseball game, and then so, oh, when this happened, when this guy hit the ball this way, the parallel universes come. This events are gonna come, and this reality will become true, right?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. There's a movie about that, like exactly on that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But you
I
don't
don't
believe
know.
in that. You believe
I
reality,
don't know.
one fate.
I don't know one reality, one fate. I think higher dimension. Even the scientists saying, right? There's like 10 or 11 dimension about reality.
Yeah.
There's a higher dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, this piece of paper is 2D, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything on this paper is only 2-dimensional,
Yeah.
and there's actually 1-dimensional.
Yeah.
1 dimension is just if you understand it, it's just a point,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
2 dimension is expand on that, right? Like X and Y.
Yeah.
Right? So that become 2 dimension. So
Yeah.
everything in there is a flat,
Yeah.
right? And our 3D is like you add in one more dimension, it becomes space.
Yeah.
Like that's why you and me come about. You
Yes.
become your individual, and I'm my individual. I have my own space,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why we can interact the way that we interact.
And technically, like,
So-
we can have multi dimensions where you and I have this podcast, but we're talking about something different.
It
Or-
could be,
yeah, Yeah.
We don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
right? Because our mind is only this events, and our sensory is only this, right? So we cannot prove anything beyond that.
See that
Maybe that's what our mind is bound to.
that'd be an interesting question to ask the eye too. Do other dimensions exist? And
You
what
can ask. You can ask. Yes. Who's coming? Oh, FBI is coming.
Yeah, you said too much.
Oh shit, man.
No,
That's it.
no, it's my buddy. He's got a.
We
Guy
should go
here.
for lunch. I'm hungry. All this talking.
Yeah, all this talking. Okay, here, let me grab these guys. You guys coming for a quick interview?
Oh,
Hey, come on in, man.
It's weird not going to the garage.
Yeah, come on in. We're
Hi.
just
hello.
finishing up the podcast here. Okay.
So we can.
Yeah, we'll
Probably stop.
finish up. So yeah, we'll just finish up first podcast. And then I'll just stop the stream now. Let's see here.